excited to be here with you for the July Soulcast and Energy report. And wow, how was your June? Let's start with that. Today marks the halfway point of the year. Can you believe that? We are halfway through this year. Where has the year gone? My gosh, so hard for me to believe. But, anyways, was your June as fun and filled with lots of activity and lots of socializing as the report had shown last month? The theme for the month was rejoice and celebration. And so hopefully, even though there might have been challenges and difficulties, maybe you could see how there was a lot to celebrate. There was a lot of fun to be had, lots of social time and all of that. So I'm curious how June was for you, but we're here today to talk about July. And if you're new to me, welcome. I do these reports every month, and it's my way of contributing to the overall collective in a way that you can work with the cosmic energy, that you can work with your own emotional and energetic mastery so that you can have an incredible month no matter what is happening. So, and this month we're going to get into, and I'm really excited because I feel like there's a lot of goodness to see. There's a lot of different astrology happening, and I'm a channel and a healer, and I've been doing that for over 20 years, as well as helping women transform their lives and really integrate their healing so that they can use their gifts, their power, and their ability to step into their purpose. And so I'm really excited to bring this information to you, not from the standpoint of as an astrologer, even though I know a lot about astrology, but from this ability to channel and read what's in the quantum field. So I already pulled the cards beforehand, so I didn't have to waste time doing that. And for the first card that I pulled for the month of July, for the overall theme, is going to be the light card from the Psychic Tarot deck. And this card, I just love it. It's so beautiful. And this card has to do with, in the traditional tarot, it's the Sun card, and it has to do obviously with light. Like you can just see she's basking in the light. She's basking. This card reminds me of Leo season. It is like a full-blown Leo energy card. But we are in Cancer, right? Most of this month is in Cancer. We are going to be moving into Leo towards the 22nd. But until then, I really feel like this card is saying, as long as you can come into beautiful acceptance over the shadows, over the challenges that you're experiencing, and understanding that they're all here to support you, then you're going to find all the way that you can connect with the light, all the way that you're being led forward towards your dreams, towards manifesting what it is that's really important to you. And there's been such an incredible opportunity to do shadow work. And the shadow work is coming through the form of old karma, old energy, old things that you used to have to, that you've dealt with in the past, but really seeing how things have lightened up, how they've shifted, how they've transformed into something that's maybe more palatable, more digestible to you as far as what you're dealing with. And that when you come into acceptance over what is, then there's so much room for shifting and changing. And so part of this feels like you're almost slowing down and really reviewing where you might be resisting life and then bringing that very thing towards you and asking the deeper questions of like, why am I resisting this? Why does this feel so hard? And a lot of it's going to come from the fact that maybe in the past, if something like this happened to you, you felt kind of crunchy, or it was difficult or conflicted. But this time now is to really step into more faith and trust that you're not here to necessarily repeat. You're here to clear karma. You're here to come more into the light and truth of who you are and really access your most authentic self. So how do we, access our authentic self? Well, it's being truthful and accepting things as they are, accepting our past, And so the more that you can do that this month, the more that you can use all of these retrogrades that we're in, because by the end of the month, we're going to be retrograding. 4 planets will be in retrograde. But right now, we just had Saturn go in retrograde in Pisces. And so that's going to be going all the way through November. And we have Pluto that's in retrograde through October. We have Neptune going in retrograde on July 2nd. And that's going to be going all the way through December. So you can see that there's retrogrades, there's nothing to be afraid of. They're just there to slow things down and show you a new perspective so that you can recalibrate. And being that Saturn is in Pisces, we're going to be looking a lot at our subconscious beliefs. We're going to be looking at a lot at what needs to die so something new can begin. There's this kind of undercurrent of the more you can have a spiritual discipline and practice, the more that you are going to feel very met within whatever challenges you're experiencing. Neptune being retrograde, Neptune, is connected to Pisces as well, but Neptune is there to support us in our spiritual endeavors. So there's so much energy of really looking at how we can be more disciplined, because Saturn is the structures, it's the way that it's the responsibilities, it's the discipline we have to do the very things that we need to do in order to create something new. And when you change your subconscious beliefs, when you step into a spiritual practice, let's just say where you are facing those parts of yourself that maybe in the past you haven't, you will find that new ways of being, new opportunities will come through for you, and it's going to be connected to the light. There's this blast of cosmic light coming onto this planet that's really saying, hey, the more that you see about yourselves, the more that you can love, the more that you're willing to be with yourself through a spiritual disciplined practice of meditation or prayer or whatever works for you, the more that you're going to open up to a new adventure in your life, and you're going to have the tools and the resources to get through the more challenging times that life provides us at different, occasions, if you will. It's never that it's easy, but when you have that spiritual foundation within yourself to be connected to the divine and connected to your higher self, you do find the light. You are able to convert that darkness over into the lightness in your life, convert that shadowy energy. So this card is telling me that there's going to be a releasing of karma. There's going to be a lot of fun to be had. There's lots of joy available when you focus on the things that are going really well in your life and have gratitude. This is a card of not being afraid to put yourself out there, not spiritually bypassing, but really tending to your emotional needs and feelings and creating that beautiful home within yourself, home within your life, so that you can go out into the world and do all the beautiful things that you need to do, showing up in your gifts and your purpose. And so this card feels really, really good. So I'm really excited that we have this to support us for the month of July. And we're always going to come back to this card. And for the first week of July, we have the Triumphant Success card. So the first week of July, Triumphant Success. And like I said, today, July 1st, which is the day I'm filming this, marks the halfway point of the year. So it's such a great time just to kind of take a moment, pause, ask yourself, how am I tracking? How has this year been so far for me? And it's been a challenging year for a lot of people. We're in 8 year. 8 year requires us to be in our power. It requires us, and we're to be more disciplined. And we're being kind of, Saturn's played a really big role this year. It's the ruling planet of this year. So Saturn is really asking us, okay, are you doing the very things that you need to do? Are you responsible to your dreams? Are you creating the structures and foundations that would really support your dreams? And so take a little time this week to just kind of pause and reflect on this first part of the year. And then just for reference, we have a couple big things happening this week. On the 2nd, we have Neptune going into retrograde. And then we also have a Cancer new moon on July 5th. So this is a beautiful new moon. So this card with the new moon signifies those new beginnings that you can have. And this is an interesting card because it has to do with the success of being able to master your thoughts and master the stories that you've been telling yourself. And the stories are going to be related to your own self-love story, your own uh, ability to resource within you that love that you need to carry you through. And we all learn our ability to love ourselves and hold ourselves through our parents and through your attunement with your mother. And so this is a great week to reconnect to your inner mother and inner father, not your real mother and father. Yes, they're great, but the parts of you, that divine feminine and masculine within yourself, that can give you the very things that maybe you did not receive that you needed in your childhood. So it would be great to review before the new moon and just think about, did I get, like, what was the self-love story my mom had with herself? Like, how did my mom reflect back her own ability to love herself? And for some of us, maybe that was absent because they didn't know how to love themselves. Maybe they had a lot of trauma and they're, still dealing with all those things. But that doesn't have to be your story. So there's this capacity this week to cut away and move past the limitations of what you inherited, what you were taught, and really step into these new beginnings. And so this sword is very beautiful because it comes through and it cuts away what doesn't serve, but it also knows when to stop. It knows what's necessary for growth, but it doesn't overdo it. So if you find these stories right now in your where you're saying negative things about yourself, in your ability to love yourself, if your story's bringing you down instead of bringing you up, this is a beautiful week to set some new intentions on how to remother yourself, because Cancer's a wildly intuitive, it's the mother archetype. It's that really feminine energy that every single one of us has, whether it's a man or a woman, and allows us to come into a way with ourselves where we feel at home, where we feel really at home. And so I want you to focus this week on what makes you feel at home, what brings you into a sense of safety and security within yourself, and understanding what's 3D and what's out there and external, and what is within you internally that allows you to feel really at home within yourself. Is it being able to be your authentic self? Is it giving yourself permission to chase after your dreams and have the things that you desire? So this is a week to really get comfortable with the stories that you're telling yourself and rewrite them if they're not bringing you and focusing you into who you want to be. You have to have a lot of dedication and discipline, right? With your mental thoughts and capacity in order to make sure they are matching where you're going versus where you've been. And so this card comes in and says, stop it. Like, if you're telling the negative stories, no more. Find a way to shed some light on that stuff, understand the shadows that you're working with, and really come into a place of more loving acceptance within, and creating a new love story for yourself where you're allowed to really own the things that you desire and want. So make sure on the Cancer new moon that you're planting those seeds, that you're really going in and thinking, okay, how could I love myself more so that I can cultivate and really tend to the garden of my dreams? Let me pull out those weeds, let me get rid of all that stuff, and let me get really excited about what's possible moving forward. So I love this card because this feels like there's momentum for new beginnings, as long as you're willing to change the script, the storyline that you've been operating from, and that might be holding you down versus pushing you forward. Okay, so new storyline, new script. You are the director, you are the co-creator with the divine of whatever reality that you want to create. So just don't forget that. And if you want to go deeper, you can, of course, join me in Psychic Bestie, where I'm going to be giving a full new moon in Cancer energetic report, way to work with it, and beautiful meditation. Okay, so for the week of um, the 8th, we get the beautiful Triumph card. I love this card as well. So this is the Chariot in the traditional tarot. So we are coming into a week starting with the 8th where we're really going to be thinking about what are the very things that have been allowing us to heal. When I say heal, come back home to ourselves. What are the things in your reality that are posing themselves as challenges and obstacles that have created a pathway forward for you to heal? So, a lot of times when our life is going according to plan, right? According to plan, we're not driven to feel this sense of like, oh, I need to go heal. I hope that you give yourself breaks from your healing journey. I hope that you have such an ebb and flow with all of this that you trust that when you need to work on yourself and do the inner kind of become your inner own cosmonaut, that life will show you that. And so this week, notice where you're being directed. What is it that you have asked the universe for? What is it that you desire? What are you working towards? And this is a really, really positive card because it's saying with proper discipline, dedication, taking responsibility. We're coming off last week where we have the triumphant success card where we're rewiring our subconscious beliefs and patterns so that we can move forward. If you've been doing that work, you're going to notice that you have this forward momentum, that you like your eye is on the prize, you're working towards that very thing. And you may find that there's a lot of support, there's momentum, things are coming together. And the key with this is that whatever the challenges, what I was starting off saying with this card is whatever challenges you might be facing, those are the way through. You have to go through those and work with those challenges, finesse those challenges so that are obstacles so that you can get to the other side. This isn't where this card really reminds me of somebody he's prepared for battle, his hair's flying, he's like off, he's moving into something. And oftentimes when you're on your journey, there's already things happening in your reality that are squeezing you, kind of pushing you to heal, because this is a card about coming home to yourself, really healing and allowing these things to be catalyst for you instead of weighing you down. So if you kind of get stuck in the storyline of like, oh my gosh, this is happening to me and why is this happening, then you've already kind of lost a little bit of your momentum. This is a card that's saying focus on where you're going. Stay with your eye on the prize. Don't get too caught up in the obstacles and challenges because those are part of getting to your destination. So this is really, once again, requiring you to have a lot of emotional and energetic mastery. Because if you're off on your journey and things are happening and you get caught up and it's almost like you get a snag, and like I said, if something kind of like snagged your outfit and it kind of is holding you back, not letting you move forward, you could sit there for a while and you could kind of get lost in that information or that energy. And spirit is saying, no, 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 no. Like, this is like all systems go. Like, just keep focusing on where you want to go. And the little energetic snags, maybe the psychic kind of things that are happening that you're picking up on, because you're going to feel very psychic this week. You're going to be receiving a lot of information, a lot of support to keep you moving forward. Your job is to listen, to be with that information and not get hung up on the things that are not going your way, that are appearing as the challenges and obstacles, but they're happening because, while we have Saturn and retrograde Saturn saying, okay, how can you be responsible to your dreams? How can you be more responsible to the very things that you want in your life? And you, like I said, you won't know if life was going perfectly, beautifully, you would not even notice. You just be like, okay, things are good. And if that's for you this week, then great. Then just keep moving forward towards your dreams. But if you are experiencing some difficulty, that is there to support you in moving forward and changing the beliefs and the patterns, the very things that keep you looping in the same, so that you can get the momentum and you can have the triumph, that you can walk away from whatever you're going towards, eventually walk away from it and be like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. I learned a lot from that situation. I'm glad it's over, but look at who I've become. Look who I've become. So that you're going to have a mini version of that this week. Look at who I've become when I am able to sit with my challenges and really just be with it and keep trusting in my forward momentum and process. Something really good is going to come of that. You're going to feel really excited and enthusiastic about what is available to you, especially all the potentials and possibilities. And there's just like some really beautiful energy this week, reminding you of how worthy you are to have your desires. So if I were you, I would spend some time this week in meditation, really building up your confidence, your self-esteem, and your self-worth, your solar plexus area, that inner sun within you. The more that you can cultivate that light, and imagine you're sending it out to the people that need it, the people that you want to work with, the people that you're in conversation with, the people that you might be having challenges with, or even just the energetics of a situation. Really send it a lot of light. Like, come back to your power center this week. Come back to that place within you of trust of where you're heading and journeying. Okay, that's for this week. For the week of the 15th, we have the recognition and reward card. So recognition and reward card for the week of the 15th. I love this card. It's so fun. This card is always, it's a 3 cards. It's always about social situations, collaborations, different energy. It's not a card of just being by yourself. It may look like, oh, it's just me that's being up on the kind of the pedestal of my life and I'm being rewarded for something. But how do you actually get there? What's the journey to being recognized and rewarded from the universe in such a material way? This is a material reward that you get to receive this week. There's energy of that feeling of like, I can see where in my physical world things are going right. But what I was going to say is this person doesn't get there without being of service. So there's something this week about how can you be of service? How can you support others? How can you give to other people? Maybe with using your gifts, your leadership, maybe you could be there for a friend, whatever it's going to be, where because you are living from that open heart and giving, you are rewarded in a very bountiful way. And it's not the agenda giving where you're like, well, if I give this, then I'm going to get that. Not, we're not working with that. That's not what this is. This is I'm going to come into this virtuous place within my heart, and I'm going to notice where I could support others. And first, you have to fill up your own tank. You have to fill up your own energy tank, your own love tank. You have to make sure that you're in a good space. So I want you to start off this week at the 15th, really paying attention to where are the energetic deficits? Where are you feeling a little bit off energetically, emotionally, physically, mentally? And almost make a list of like, okay, yeah, how am I feeling? Like 1 to 5, 5 being fantastic, 1 being awful. Where do I need to really fill up my own tank? And then find a way to connect with others this week and maybe give the very thing that you need the most, give it to somebody else this week. Really step into a giving heart and see the beautiful shifts and miracles that show up for you this week, because this is to get you out of your comfort zone. And this is for you to recognize where you might be in a deficit, but to trust that when you start to support others and in the ways that you can, that you start to kind of see the abundance move and that the energy is shifting and it's allowing you to come back into equilibrium. This is a week about coming back into equilibrium, not to feel so out of balance. Like if your physical body is really off and you're not feeling good, then okay, what can I do this week to take care of my physical body, get really grounded, get out in nature, take Epsom salt baths, get some energy work, whatever it is that you need to do. But look at the area that is a 5 for you. So if your physical body is like the 1 or 2, but you're feeling really emotionally met in your life, you're feeling very good as far as your mental capacity, then maybe you help out your friend that is in need of some support that week. Maybe you give some ideas to a colleague that would support them in their business project. You'll know how it shows up, but it starts off with you being really clear about how can I give back? How can I step into my soul-led leadership and support others? But first, I'm going to learn and really connect and go within myself to see where I need the support. And then the other piece of this is, besides giving, where you might feel like filled up, is don't be afraid to ask for support. I want you to see this as a week of balance of like, okay, if I'm taking care of me, and I'm giving to others, but yet I'm not afraid to say, oh yeah, I need a little help. I had this happen to me just last week where I was telling my fiance, I was like, oh my gosh, my arm is having some nerve stuff. And he wound up calling one of his doctor friends, and the doctor saw me, and I'm on the path to healing, but I had to ask for support. It was part of my journey. So don't be afraid to be able to really clearly identify what you need, but what also you can give to others, because you're going to prime the pump of prosperity. You're going to see abundance this week. If you do that, you're going to see, I love the energy of miracles. You're going to see maybe where something's been really stuck and not moving, some miraculous movement, some energy of like, oh my God, things are coming together. Thank gosh, a sense of relief. And then a sense of, being in that leadership role of your life. So whether this pertains to a actual promotion or something bigger happening or being recognized for something fantastic, maybe your portfolio from your financial planner, they're saying, oh, you're doing really well, or make that investment in real estate, whatever it may be, because there's a very tangible feeling to this. But also it could be that you feel like the divine is putting you in the spotlight. The divine is putting you back into the light. Like, it's like, okay, I'm back in the game. Or maybe you felt you were sitting on the sidelines for a little bit. You're like, I'm back in the game. Things are moving. Okay, I like this. I can do this. So enjoy that energy, and also really practice the gratitude of, yes, things are moving again, and or things are evolving to the next level in my career, my relationship, and I'm really going to be grateful, and I'm going to keep giving that back. Okay, that's for this week of the 15th. So we are going to be going into the week of the 22nd. But before I forget, I want to say with this card for that 15th week is on the 21st, we have that full moon in Capricorn. So that full moon, all of what I'm saying applies, but the full moon in Capricorn, it went 29 degrees. I believe it's a 29-degree full moon. It started at a 1. So you've gotten to see some probably really big shifts with your work. You're getting to see. So this is also perfect of everything I've already said, but really pay attention to the structures and the foundations and the responsibilities you have towards your work, and what has changed or shifted in this last month. What has the universe been trying to show you and tell you? And where are you ready to like take off and celebrate and do new things with it? Okay, I just wanted to add that in. Okay, now for the week of the 22nd. Leo season begins, and this card starts on the 22nd, like I said. And so Leo season, we also have on the 26th a Chiron retrograde that's going to be going until late December. Chiron is the wounded healer. Chiron wants us to heal. It wants us to take those like inner child wounds that we have from very early in our life and our history and really repair them so we could be the most resilient, resolved version of ourselves. And so we get some time to kind of look at all of the things that have been you're going to review and recalibrate, reevaluate, just like I say with these retrogrades. That's what they're for, is to review different parts of your life. So you might be looking at that tender place within yourself, that wounding, and really making peace with it until December, which is very fitting for this victory and success card, because this is a 6 cards all about harmony and balance, and really finding, like, if you're in the light of your life, if that's the theme for July, if you're finding the sun energy within you, reprogramming your inner child to have the things that you want. And I mean that, like, reprogramming your subconscious beliefs, but loving your inner child, being playful, being joyful. You are right where you need to be with this Leo energy, because Leo rules, the 5th house of romance and creativity and play and all these different things. And so our creativity can be rewarded, our play can be rewarded, but so much of our society says, no, you have to go and work and do this and chase the shiny object syndrome, and that's how you get to success. But a lot of us are finding out that that is not, that on paper, that's success. And yes, it's nice because you can have beautiful things, but if you are not operating from a place of your own internal creativity and your own playfulness and joy, you're going to feel dried up and old. You're going to feel like you're lacking life force vitality. So this card is saying, if you were to look at your life and see where you are tracking and what's going really great for you spiritually, where you feel, because we're in this, like, these retrogrades with Saturn and Neptune and Pluto, where there's so much spiritual reconciliation that's happening within ourselves. And this is a purple card, so it rules our spiritual connection to our life, to God, to the universe, whatever you want to call it. And it's asking what would feel wildly successful to you, not on paper, but in actuality. Are you seeking more connection with other people? Are you looking for deeper fulfillment in your life? And what are you doing to bring that in? And this week will really highlight those things to you. And it may say, hey, get your butt on the meditation mat, get in prayer, go to church, do the things that really support you in feeling that beautiful, juicy sense of harmony in your life, of connection, whatever it is that you deeply desire. Maybe you want peace and calm, and you're searching and searching for all these things that'll bring it to you, yet you haven't done the work to go within yourself and really resource it within. And so there's a big call this week: go within. Use your tools, your spiritual tools and practices to help you access and resource your own answers for forward momentum. Whatever it is that you're working on, that you're looking at in your life, that is happening for you, the content of your life, that divine curriculum that you've been handed, from God in your soul, that's saying, hey, I want to grow and expand. How are you tracking with it? If you want more peace and calm, and the world is crazy, right, with so many things happening, I can guarantee you it's not going to come from out there, it's going to come from in here. So are you cultivating a practice of peace and calm every day before you start your day, or at nighttime before you go to bed? What are you doing so that you can have this victory and success? Because I promise you that when you start to spend more time with cultivating your consciousness, the side effect is you are going to feel more successful in your life. Things are going to go more smoothly. You start to smooth out the edges of your life when you have a practice of connecting with, God and your higher self. You're not looking to be externally kind of soothed, because you'll know that there's always going to be things in the external world that are happening that are triggering and challenging and all the things. And there's beautiful things too, but everything is fluctuating and it's temporary. And your consciousness, you're always going to let it, your relationship to yourself be fluctuating and all over the place. You are going to find that you're going to probably feel off. And there's so much available to you when you step back and you go, okay, I'm really going to spend this time working on my relationship to myself, so I can see the victories. I can really celebrate and be grateful and excited and connected to this higher path that I'm being called to, which requires lots of leadership. Because for a lot of you, this path is not going to be what everybody else is doing. This is might feel a little bit like you're pulling away from the normies, and I'm making a joke, but you're pulling away from what's normal and what feels like you're in the club of life and successful in that way, and moving towards spiritual fulfillment and success, the things that inside of you would make you feel like you can have the bandwidth to do whatever it is that you desire in this reality. And believe it or not, when you have spiritual connection and faith and trust in life, your frequency is higher. So life tends to work out a little bit better. So this week that is what you're focusing on. So make sure, like with this change into Leo energy, that you are really finding ways to play and have joy and be in the light, whatever that looks like for you, nature, friendship, community, all those things. Okay. And last but not least, for the last few days of the month, we got this beautiful third eye card, chakra. I just love it. You can see I have a ring that matches that. I just love purple is one of my favorite colors. And this is just telling me that we're really wrapping up the energy of July with going internal and really listening to our intuition and being with the visuals of our life. And so what does that mean? The visuals are your ability to see what you want for your life and to get reconnected with that. So not only do we receive intuition through feelings, knowings, auditory, but we get, if we're using our third eye, we get these beautiful visuals. And sometimes it's of just like a symbol, or it could be something bigger. It could be like a whole movie playing out in your mind. But give yourself time this week to be with that, to get connected to what is life trying to show you for what's next. Higher self, what do you want to show me for my life that you want me to know? Like spend some time working on that, do some automatic writing. There is this opportunity with these last few days of the month to really take all the insight of what you got and really ask your intuition, how do you want me to move forward in an aligned way that creates coherence between my heart and my mind, so that I'm sending out this beautiful frequency into the quantum field to help me create my life. The quantum field being God energy, source energy, right? And so this is, to me, a time to get clarity and listen to those intuitive steps that are going to support you in whatever you're doing, whatever endeavors that you're in. And if you're not familiar with your intuition, then this is, a great place to start, is just by asking and getting connected to different things for you this week that would allow you to start opening up. And one of the great ways to get connected to your intuition is just to listen to your feelings, just to notice what your body's trying to show you, it's trying to tell you, to listen to the messages from just within. And when you start to listen to your body, there's aches and pains, not just assuming, oh, I went out and I hurt myself, like really creating a deeper connection with yourself around the feelings, not the emotions, not when you get cut off by somebody driving, but the feelings. And start to notice if the sensations that are arising within you are rooted in the things that you desire, or if they're continually like dread or tightness or contraction, and really start to work with that, and if you want to go deeper with that, that's stuff that I work with my clients in my sessions. You can start with an intuitive healing session, or you could do coaching, but really understanding that life is always leaving us a map of what's next for us. Through it starts with the body. The body is the barometer of the soul, and it's always trying to give you clues and information to support you in moving forward. It's just, you have to slow down and listen. And so if you can do that, start with just the body and journal, connecting in, what are the sensations I'm feeling today? What are they trying to tell me? How am I tracking in my life? Just start there. Very simple. That is going to help you start to get connected to the deeper things that are happening within you, because intuition, your third eye, is really about cultivating a relationship with yourself, so you can start to visually dream like you're dreaming awake. You're not dreaming asleep. You're literally dreaming awake. And I do this all the time. I choreograph what I love to see, and I start to add in all the different sensations. But just start with, what is my next dream? And when I start to feel that in my body, how does that feel? Is it expansive? Is it, peaceful? Start there. Open up your third eye and your intuition just by those simple exercises. And then for those of you that are more advanced, be choreographing, be choreographing, get excited, use this time to your psychic awareness to really propel you forward, and do lots and lots and lots of psychic cleansing and purification. For those of you like myself that are practitioners and facilitators that use your psychic abilities all the time, this is the time to make sure that you are really, 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 really using your tools just to make sure you're clear and cleansed, because there's a lot of information coming through right now. So have a beautiful July, and I hope that this, whatever you picked up through these different weeks, that July really is filled with so much light for you. That was the original card of July, that you just feel so much joy in the moments that you can, and you really relish and cherish those moments. I'll see you next month. Take care.